Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be back and I can't wait to be out on court and I hope to see you there.
Alex Eala has arrived in Birmingham, and Filipino fans are already making their presence felt across the United Kingdom before Wimbledon has even begun. Just 96 hours after leaving court, Suzanne Lenglen in tears at the French Open. The 20-year-old star from Manila touched down in England as the number 2 seed for the Lexus Birmingham Open, where Filipino flags were already waiting to welcome her at Edgbaston Priory Club. With Wimbledon still weeks away, the atmosphere surrounding Eala is growing rapidly, turning what should be a routine warm-up event into a preview of something much bigger. On May 26, 2026, Eala suffered a first-round French Open defeat to her close friend Iva Jovic, losing 4-6, 2-6. Despite the disappointment, she remained positive, later telling fans that competing against a friend was something both players had become accustomed to. Hours after the loss, she shared a message with her 1.6 million followers, writing, "First Grand Slam main draw in the books. Back to the drawing board for now, but we'll come back stronger next time. See you for the grass." Rather than returning home, Eala immediately shifted her focus to the grass court season and headed to England, where Birmingham represents a crucial challenge rather than a celebration. She arrives carrying both emotional and competitive pressure. Emotionally, she is still processing the biggest Grand Slam match of her career and the heartbreak of losing to one of her closest friends on tour. Competitively, she faces the difficult task of defending 219 grass court ranking points earned during her impressive 2025 campaign, which included strong performances in Birmingham, Ilkley, Nottingham, and a memorable run to the Eastbourne final where she famously saved 4 championship points before narrowly losing in a tiebreak. Every point she fails to defend over the coming weeks could impact her ranking. Reports suggest her opening match may feature a rematch against Linda Fruhvirtova, the same player who eliminated her from Birmingham last year. Meanwhile, the Filipino community across the United Kingdom is creating an unprecedented wave of support, something the WTA has rarely experienced. The contrast from a year ago is striking. In 2025, Eala exited Birmingham quietly after an early round defeat. This year, she arrives as one of the tournament's biggest attractions, with the LTA prominently featuring her in its promotional campaign and fans preparing to turn every match into a home court atmosphere long before Wimbledon officially begins. As the number 2 seed in Birmingham, behind only Indonesian star Janice Chin, Alex Eala has become one of the central attractions of the grass court season. The Birmingham Mail has described her as the breakout name of the summer swing, highlighting just how dramatically her profile has risen over the past year. But rankings and seedings alone do not inspire thousands of people to travel across countries. The fans do. During the 2026 Italian Open in Rome, veteran Filipino sports journalist Dionisio Castro reported that Filipino supporters flew in from London, Germany, and even Malta specifically to watch Eala compete on clay. By the end of the tournament, local Italian spectators had begun joining in, shouting, "Come on, Alex," with unmistakable Italian accents from the stands. Now consider the geography. The United Kingdom is home to the largest Filipino population in Western Europe, and Birmingham sits only a short train ride from London. If supporters were willing to cross borders to watch Eala in Rome, the prospect of seeing her compete on British soil has created even greater anticipation. What is unfolding is part of a pattern that has repeated itself throughout the season, first in Melbourne, then Indian Wells, then Rome, and now Birmingham. The Alex Eala fan base is no longer viewed as a novelty. It has evolved into a dedicated international following that consistently changes the atmosphere wherever she plays. Tournament organizers have taken notice, and many have been forced to reconsider expectations around attendance, scheduling, and crowd management whenever Eala appears in the draw. According to UK-based WTA analysis outlet Chalk Dust Media, some tournament directors and industry observers have even begun comparing her crowd-drawing influence to that of boxing legend Manny Pacquiao, the only Filipino athlete in recent history whose name alone could fill arenas around the world. Reports from tournaments in Dubai, Doha, and Melbourne indicate that Eala's practice sessions have sometimes attracted larger crowds than matches involving established top 10 players. At the 2026 Australian Open, Demand to watch her reportedly exceeded expectations to such a degree that some fans were turned away from her outer court matches. For a player ranked outside the top 30, that level of interest represents something much bigger than rankings. It reflects genuine market power and growing global appeal. Longtime supporters who followed Eala since her early days at the Rafa Nadal Academy have watched this rise unfold step by step, believing all along that the rest of the tennis world would eventually catch up. Inside the locker room, fellow players have noticed as well. Colombian star Camila Osorio publicly compared the Filipino fan base to Colombia's famously passionate tennis supporters, while reports have quoted Donna Vekic describing Filipino support as among the very best on the WTA Tour. Together, these reactions point to a reality that is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Wherever Alex Eala plays, she is no longer arriving alone. She is bringing an army of supporters with her. The kind of energy Alex Eala's supporters bring is the kind that pushes opponents to their absolute limits. When fellow players begin talking about your fan base, those fans are no longer background noise. They have become a competitive factor. This is where the analysis from Chalk Dust Media becomes particularly significant. Chalk Dust, a UK-based WTA-focused outlet co-founded by Katie, a Wimbledon Village native and longtime tennis insider whose work has been widely referenced throughout British tennis coverage, has offered one of the most ambitious interpretations of Eala's rise. In a feature examining her growing influence, the outlet drew two striking comparisons. The first compared her commercial appeal to that of boxing legend Manny Pacquiao, highlighting her ability to attract audiences far beyond traditional tennis circles. The second comparison was even more consequential, suggesting that Eala could be for Southeast Asia what Li Na was for China. For decades, women's tennis searched for another transformational figure capable of opening a massive new market in Asia. Now, according to this argument, a region of more than 670 million people, including the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia, may be finding its sporting representative in a player who has not yet captured a WTA Tour-level title. If that assessment proves correct, Eala's significance extends far beyond rankings and results. It becomes a story about the future growth of women's tennis itself. The sports institutions are already adjusting to the changing landscape. Reports have indicated that officials have occasionally needed to clarify what forms of crowd support are permitted as passionate Filipino fans bring a different atmosphere to tournaments, creating scenes that stand apart from traditional tennis etiquette. Whether viewed as enthusiasm, cultural expression, or a sign of the sport's evolution, the impact has been impossible to ignore. Looking ahead, the schedule only increases the anticipation. Birmingham runs from June 1st through June 7th, followed by Eastbourne later in June, where Eala will attempt to defend the ranking points from her breakthrough run to last year's final. Then comes Wimbledon, the stage that has loomed over this entire journey. Entering directly into the main draw without needing to qualify, Eala arrives at the All England club carrying not only expectations but also history. For Filipino tennis fans, her appearance represents a milestone years in the making, and for the wider tennis world, the next month could reveal whether the excitement surrounding her rise is simply a remarkable moment or the beginning of something much larger. The anticipation surrounding Alex Eala's British summer campaign continues to grow. Media outlets have already begun encouraging Filipino supporters across the United Kingdom to rally behind her as the grass court season unfolds. In many ways, Birmingham feels like the rehearsal, Eastbourne the soundcheck, and Wimbledon the main event. If Eala manages a deep run during this stretch, the impact could extend far beyond individual match results, potentially strengthening interest in women's tennis across Southeast Asia and attracting greater commercial attention to the sport. Yet none of the excitement changes what happened in Paris. Just days earlier, Eala suffered a difficult first-round Grand Slam defeat against a close friend who embraced her at the net and later paid tribute to her publicly. It was the kind of loss that carries a unique emotional weight, watching someone you care about celebrate while you process your own disappointment. Even so, Eala's response reflected the resilience that has defined her rise. Rather than dwelling on the setback, she delivered a simple message to supporters and immediately shifted her focus to the grass court season. Within 4 days, she was already practicing in Birmingham, smiling for young Filipino fans who had tracked down her practice court and arrived carrying flags in support. The whirlwind was remarkable. Heartbreak in Paris, a flight to England, preparations for a new tournament, the pressure of defending valuable ranking points, and the expectation of facing familiar rivals once again. Yet through it all, the support surrounding her only seemed to grow. For many longtime followers, this moment feels like validation of something they recognized years ago when Eala was still a promising teenager training at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Fans who traveled across countries and continents to watch her compete believed in the trajectory long before analysts and headlines caught up. Whether one agrees with comparisons to legendary Filipino sporting figures or not, there is little doubt that Eala's influence is becoming increasingly visible throughout the tennis world. The next few weeks will provide the clearest test yet. Can she reach the Birmingham final? Can she make another deep run at Eastbourne? Can she carry that momentum into Wimbledon and challenge the sport's biggest names on its most famous stage? Those questions remain unanswered, but one thing is already clear. The atmosphere surrounding Alex Eala has become one of the most fascinating stories of the 2026 tennis season. As the British grass court swing begins, fans, players, media members, and tournament organizers will all be watching closely. The courts are ready, the crowds are gathering, and the next chapter is about to begin.